All right. So this is the second part of our discussion. So the first part we discussed the sine law, and then for the second part we will be discussing the cosine law. Okay? And again, that's this topic is under the solution of oblique triangles. All right. So cosine law states that the square of any side of a triangle is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides minus twice the product of the other two sides and the cosine included angle. No, cosines of the included angle. Okay po? Alright. So this cosine law can be used in solving case 3 and case 4. So the sine law can be used in solving case 1 and 2, while cosine law can be used solving case 3 and case 4. So case 3 is that the given are the two sides with and the included angle. Okay? So if we have a triangle, say this is the triangle. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. So this is A, this is B and C. So in case 3, I already discussed this in the first video. So this is the given, say for example, the given is C and B, and the angle included them, which is angle A. Okay, so that's case 3. For case 4, the given are all the sides. That's SSS, or the all sides of the triangles are given. Okay, so if that is the case, you can use cosine law. But later, we will discuss or we will have an example, the combination of cosine and sine law in one problem. So you can actually use both of them. Now, depending on the given or yung mga makukuha mo na values in the problem. Okay? So, in putting this into equation, the cosine law, di ba sabi dito, the square of any side of a triangle, say a squared, that is what we are going to compute, that is equal to the sum of the two other sides. So, b and c, so that is b squared plus c squared, minus twice the product of the other two sides. And then get the cosine of the included angle, which is A. Okay? So here, ang given dito will be, is itong first natin na equation, the given is C, B, and the included angle A. Okay? So therefore, we can compute for the other side, which is A. Okay? Next is, we can also, what if the given are we need to find the other side, say B. Sorry, medyo ano lang hang yung laptop ko. So, B squared, if we are going to compute for B squared and given yung two other side, which is the A and C. So, we have A squared plus C squared minus the twice of the product of the other side, other two sides, cosine B, beta. That's cosine B. All right. For another one, if C yung hinahanap natin, so we have A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. So as you notice here, so kung A ito, side A ito, ang kukunin natin is cosine A because that's the opposite angle. No? If this is B, I hope you can see my laser. So if this is B, cosine B tayo. If this is C, cosine C tayo dito. Okay? So, pag nandito na yung A, that is equal to other sides. So, B and C. Pag andito na yung B, so A and C na yung other side. Kapag dito yung C, A and B yung other side. So, madali lang actually i-memorize yung cosine law. No? So, you can just memorize this one, or you can also memorize the cosine law in terms of angle. For example, we want to compute for cosine A. So this is equal to B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. Okay? Or this is just come from here. Ito lang yan. Manipulate lang yung equation when we are going to solve for cosine A. Diba? So we transpose A squared, transpose here to the other side, and then transpose this to the other side, and divide it by 2BC. So, this is derived from this one lang. Kaya, you can, you may not memorize this. Kapag memorize nyo na to and you know how to derive this, mas madali sa inyo, no? Unlike kung i-memorize nyo pa ito. But depende sa inyo, no? Kung ano yung preferred nyo. So, for cosine B, A squared plus C squared minus B squared over 2AC. So, again, this is just derived from this equation. Okay? And cosine C is equal to A squared plus B squared minus C squared over 2AB. So, this is again derived from this equation. Okay? So, nung college ako, ito lang po yung minimorize ko, tinandaan ko. And I just deriving these problems. All right, so let's solve for example number 1 under cosine law. So we have use the law of sine ang nakalagay dito. This is law of cosine. I mean, so hindi ko lang yata na-edit. I'm sorry for this one. So let me replace it with the law of, where is my, ayan, law of cosine. Okay? Law of cosine. So, to find the indicated side x or angle theta. So, here, hindi naman in-indicate yung angle theta. So, let's not solve for angle theta since or lang naman ito. So, let's just solve for side x, which is this one. Okay? All right. So, to solve for that, we will use cosine. So, since we're looking for x, x is also equal to b, right? So, if this is angle A, this is the side A. If this is angle C, this is side C. Using now the equation for the cosine law, wherein B yung hinahanap natin, and that is equal to X. Now, let's me write it here. So, where B is equal to X, you can just simply use X or you can use B if you want to stick with the with our formula po, no, na mga ginagamit na variable. All right. So this will become b squared is equal to the other two side, the sum of the squared of the other two side. So that is a squared plus c squared minus twice the product of the two sides cosine the opposite angle. If this is b, this is cosine b. O, di ba? Madali lang siyang tandaan. So therefore, this is getting now the square root of both sides to solve for b. So b therefore is equal to the square root of a, where a is equal to 42 squared plus the square root of c, which is 21. Let me oops, sorry for this one. What happened to my, let me erase this. Okay. So this is 21 squared minus 2 times 42 times 21. Tama. Cosine B, that is 39 degrees. Okay? So we can now compute for B. B is equal to, please check it with your calculator. B is equal to 28.88. And this is equal to X. Okay? All right. Oops, what happened to this? So that's 28.88. So that's our final answer po. So you can check it with your calculator. All right. So next, let's solve for problem number 2. So we're asked to solve for theta. Okay? All right. So we are asked to find theta. So using cosine law again, okay? So this is case 3. We're in no, case 4. We're in all the sides are given. But we are asked to find angle theta. Okay. So we can actually use, since that's angle B, so this is B, this is C, this is A. So we can actually use here B squared is equal to A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine B, since we're looking for cosine B or cosine theta. Or we can use the other formula wherein it is in the form of the cosine law in the form of angle. Okay? So if we're going to manipulate this, papakita ko lang sa inyo yung derivation, no, nung formula natin na cosine law in terms of angle. So if I am going to transpose negative 2AC cosine B to the other side, it become positive 2AC cosine B is equal to A squared plus C squared. Transposing B squared to the other side, it will become negative B squared. Okay po? Right. So, divide both side by 2AC to finally isolate now cosine B. So, cosine B therefore is equal to A squared plus C squared minus B squared over 2AC. So, we can actually use this formula or this equation. Okay? All right. So, therefore, cosine B, oops, I'm sorry. Okay. We have A, we have C, we have B, we have A and C. We can compute for cosine B. So cosine B or B is equal to, since that is angle, so we get the arc cosine. A squared plus C squared minus B squared over 2AC. So therefore, B is equal to cosine negative 1. A squared is 1 to 2.5 squared plus C, that's 60.1 squared minus B squared, that's 154.6 squared, all over 2 times A is 122.5 and C is 60.1. Okay? B therefore is equal to what? B is equal to, let's compute it. So it will give you 111.02 degrees. All right. So again, kailangan nyo lang memorize is this one. You can compute actually for B. Okay? All right. Next, sketch the triangle and then solve the triangle ABC, meaning we need to solve for all the missing values of a triangle. So first is, let's sketch. So say this is our triangle. So you just draw any triangle and then let's just check it if that is correct yung pagka-draw natin. So we have A, this is the given, which is 55 degrees. We have, say this is this is C, this is B. So this is A side and that is 50. This is B side, this is 65 degrees. And this is C. Okay. So in this case, I think there's something wrong with the given. I think this must be C, so that it is case 3. The two side and an included angle. So this is 50. C is 50. Okay? Para magamit natin yung cosine law. And this is case 3. two sides are given and the included angle. Okay, I think that's the correct given. All right. So since we have case 3 here, so we can use the cosine law. Okay? So let me write the solution. So cosine law. First is let's compute for A. Since we need to compute for all the missing values. So we need to compute for angle C, angle B, and A. Okay? All right. To compute for A, by cosine law, we have A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus twice of the other side, that is B times C, cosine the opposite angle, which is A. Okay? So, getting the square root of both sides, we have A is equal to the square root. I am sorry. Let me fix it. Parang tumalon yung ating square root sign. So, that would be the square root of B, which is 65 squared. C is 50 squared minus 2 times 65 times 50 cosine A, and that is 55 degrees. So it will give you, again, compute it in your calculator. So it will give you A is equal to 54.74. All right. So we already have 54.74 for A. That's for A. How about for angle C or angle B? So for angle B, say I will compute for angle B. Since we already derived the equation for angle B, ito yung dinerive natin, di ba? Cosine B is equal to A squared plus C squared minus B squared over 2AC. So you can actually use this. Or again, you derive it again. No? So anyways, since we to sa time natin, na-derive naman natin kanina, naipakita ko na sa inyo kanina. So let's just solve or use, no, solve for B by using the derived formula. That's cosine B is equal to A squared plus C squared minus B squared over 2AC, right? So I think that's correct. A squared C squared minus B squared. Okay. All right. So this will become, dito ko na lang isulat sa taas, the continuation. I'll just write the continuation here. So this will become cosine B is equal to A squared. A squared is 54.74, tama? Squared plus C, C is 50 squared, minus B. B is 65 squared. All right. Divided by 2 times AC. That is 54.74 times 50. Okay. So therefore, cosine B, to solve for B, that is B is equal to arc cosine 54.74 squared plus 50 squared minus 65 squared divided by 2 times 54.74 times 50. Okay? So B will give you ilan? Please compute it with your calculator again. It will give you 76.57 degrees. Tama? Okay. That's the value of angle B. So to solve for C, madali na lang, no? Solve for C. Since we know that the interior angle of the um, triangle is 180, so therefore we can say that A plus B plus C is equal to 180. Okay? All right. So A is 55, B is 65, plus C is 180 degrees. C is equal to 180 degrees minus 55 degrees minus 65 degrees. So it will give you ilan? 76, not 60. Okay, 65. I'm sorry, class. So this should be B is 76.57. Wait lang, class. Maraming. B is not 65 degrees, but that's 76. So that should be 76.57 minus 76.57. Tama? Yeah. So therefore, it will give you C is 48.43 degrees. Okay pa? Alright. So these are now our final answer. So we have the value of A, we have the value of angle B, and the value of angle C. Okay pa? Alright. So number 4 example. Two sides of a triangle are 50 meters and 60 meters long. The angle included between these sides is 30 degrees. What is the interior angle in degrees? No, opposite the longest side. So what we are looking for is the angle opposite of the longest side, but we don't know yet what is the longest side. So therefore, uh, we need to identify first that one. So para mas madali, let's draw a triangle so that we can figure, kumbaga mas madaling i-figure out. Say this is the triangle. Okay? So first, I will assume that the longest side is 60 meters. So, ilalagay ko dito yung 60 meters. I will put here the 50 meters. And the included angle. So that is 30 degrees. So if this is A, this is B, this is C. So therefore, I can name this as C. I can name this as B. And I can name this as A. Okay, to confirm if our drawing is correct, let's solve for A muna. Since this is case 3, we can use cosine law. Okay? For solving A. To identify or confirm if the longest side is 60 meters since we need to know the interior angle of the opposite the longest side. Okay. So to solve for A using by cosine law. So we have A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2B C cosine A. All right. So getting the square root of both sides, we have A is the square root of B. B is 60 squared. C is 50 squared minus 2 times 60 times 50 cosine A, which is 30 degrees. All right. Input this in your calculator. Okay. So it will give you A is 30.06 meters. So we already have A. And therefore, we confirm that the longest side is 60 meters. So therefore, we are asked to compute for angle B. Okay? Since we already know the three sides, again, we can actually compute using cosine law again. Or we can compute actually using sine law, no? Because there is given angles, two sides. There is two sides and uh, two sides C and A are given, and the angle that is not in between them are given. So you can use cosine law here or you can use sine law. If you're going to use cosine law, you just need to use the itong na-derive natin kanina, itong si cosine B so that we can compute for B, no? But let me use sine law for this combination. So by sine law, mas madali kasi yung sine law kapag ganito na, no? You can use actually any ano po, no, law as long as um tama yung pagkakagamit niyo or available yung information, no, sa ano po, mas madali dito gamitin yung sine law compared to cosine law. So you go kung saan mas madali. Okay? Since applicable naman sa sine law yung given, so let's use sine law. So we have, say, since we are looking for B, so we have B over sine, I mean, sine B. Say I will use C. I will not use C. Let me use A kasi given na. A over sine A. Okay? So B is 60 over sine B, which we do not know. A is 30.06 over sine 30. Sine A is 30 degrees. Solving for sine B by cross multiply. So we have 60 sine 30 degrees is equal to 30.06 sine B. Isolating sine B, we divide both sides by 30.06. 30.06. So makakancel yan. Sine B therefore is equal to, let me write it here. So sine B is equal to 60 sine 30 degrees over 30.06. So B therefore is equal to sine or arc sine 60 sine 30 degrees over 30.06. So please input that in your calculator and it will give you an answer of 86.38 degrees. And that is the angle at B, which is the opposite of the longest side. Okay? All right. What happened to this? Let me erase it. Okay. So this is now our final answer. Naintindihan po? So if you have question, please comment down below sa ano natin, video natin so that we can discuss it in our face-to-face meeting. All right. So next, we have the cosine law again, example. And in triangle ABC, angle C is equal to 70 degrees. Angle A is 45 degrees and the length of AB side is 40 meters. What is the length of the median drawn from the vertex of A to side BC? So to understand it well, let us again draw the triangle. So say this is our triangle. So just write or just draw triangle and let's just confirm it if tama yung pagka-drawing natin. So we have A, B, and C. All right. So ang given is the angle C, which is 70 degrees. Angle A is 45 degrees. And the length AB is 40 meters. That is the length AB. So what is the length of the median? So median drawn from the vertex. So let me draw the median. So median is drawn from the vertex A. It is drawn from the vertex A to the side BC. So papunta dyan sa side BC. And median is dividing this side into two equal length. That's the median. Okay? So therefore, this length, let's say x yung gagamitin natin since they are equal. So this length will be 2x. So we will say, let's call this as D, point D. Right? So, mas nakikita na natin. So, seeing the, say, ito yung median natin. Let's say M yan para lagyan natin ng variable or ng name. So, seeing this one, we have 40 meters, we have 45 degrees, 70 degrees. So, this is actually case 2 because we have, oh no, this is angle, angle, and side. So, we can actually, to compute for 2x, we can actually use sine law. So 2x and 40 meters, this is case 2. So if I'm going to use case 2, sine law, I have two side which is 40 meters and 2x and the included, I mean the angle that is not included. That's why I can use sine law here to compute for 2x. Okay? So let me just write it here. Dito na lang ulit sa kabila. Solution natin. Let me just change the, oops, the color. Okay. So solution. So we have 2x over the opposite sine 45 degrees is equal to 40. Say I will use 40. 40 divided by the opposite angle sine 70 degrees. Okay, that's the concept of sine law. All right. One equation, one unknown, we can solve for x. So let's cross multiply cross multiply sine 70 degrees is equal to 40 sine 45 degrees. Isolating x here, we divide both sides by 2 sine 70 degrees. Okay? 2 sine 70 degrees. So that this will be cancelled out. The 2 will be cancelled out. 70 degrees will be cancelled out, leaving us x. So x therefore is 40 sine 45 degrees over 2 sine 70 degrees. And this is equal to what? Please compute it in your calculator. So let me just divide this. Okay, it will give you ilan? That's 15.05 meters. So that's the value of x, 15.05. So why do we need to get x? So that we can compute for the median here or the length of the median by using the triangle, using triangle ADB. Okay? So looking at the triangle ADB, so we can use actually cosine law here. Since we have 40 meters, we have 15.05, and we're looking for M. So to do that, first is we need to compute for, since cosine law yung gagamitin natin, we need to have this side, and the angle between them. Okay? So to solve for angle B, which is the angle between the two given side. So we have 45. So this is just easy. A plus B plus C is equal to 180 degrees. No? Solving for B, that's 180 degrees minus 45 degree minus 70 degrees. Okay? B therefore is equal to, this will give you 65 degrees. Now, we already have SAS or case number 3 for two sides and included angle. So we can use cosine. So since we're going to compute for m, so we have m squared is equal to the two other sides, which is 40 squared plus 15.05 squared. That's the two other sides. Minus twice of the product of the two other sides, 15.05. And cosine of the opposite angle. The opposite angle of this is 65. That's why kinompute natin yung B. Okay? Getting the square root of both sides, we have m is the square root of 40 squared plus 15.05 squared minus 2 times 40, 15.05 squared cosine 65 degrees. And it will give you the length of m. And what is that? This is equal to 36.3 meters. This is now our final answer. Nakuha po? Did you get it? All right. Again, if you have question, please comment down below, and we will discuss it in an online face-to-face class. Okay. So I think this is the last example under cosine law. No, actually, this is a combination of the cosine and sine law. So pinakita ko lang sa inyo na we can use that. We can use both. Okay, depending on the given. Okay. So, since this is a 3 hours session, so I already give you the first part of the videos, which is about sine law and then the cosine law. So I will give you, use the rest of the hours na merong natitira as answering the activity in your BB. Okay? So please answer the learning activity on your BB and use the remaining time that we have since we need to have our learning activity. No, this is supposed to be um our lab activity, no, but I just use it for the discussion para makahabol tayo. Okay po? All right. So if you don't have question, uh thank you for watching this. And again, if you have question while answering your BB, you can chat me po, no? So thank you for watching and God bless everyone.